Welcome to the C4 Canucks Hockey Podcast.
Every week, they talk about the Vancouver Canucks with a fair amount of nonsense thrown in.
Sure, they're never the first with the news, nor the best connected, and definitely more off the rails than on.
But they've been talking puck the longest, and that counts for something, right?
So strap in for the longest running, best mediocre Canucks Hockey Podcast.
It's C4 with Chris and Anna.
Hi, Anna. Hi, Craig.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Craig. I love that you're doing it in different voices now. That's your overly cheery version.
Yeah, it's an overly cheery version. I mean, why am I so cheery? I don't have to worry about watching the Vancouver Canucks for a few weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
hey,
You know what I was just looking at? Sorry to go off the rails almost immediately, but
I'm going to be off the rails all episode, so don't
I can
apologize.
see downtown right from my window. Like, very prominently, I can see the Harbour Tower, and I can see the edge of BC Place. And I'm like, I wonder if they'll light it up Seahawks colors. Do you think they would do such a thing in honor of the Super Bowl?
Maybe, I mean, yeah, like, so, spoiler alert if you were going to
Yeah,
PVR the
sorry.
Super Bowl and watch it a day or two later. Seattle won. I watched it. That's the team that I was cheering for. I'm not like, there
Don't
are
die
much
hard.
better Seahawks fans than I out there. But when it, comes to watching NFL, the only team I actually actively sort of cheer for is the Seattle Seahawks. They won. The connection to sort of the lower mainland, obviously stronger in that sense, though I kind of get the feel that there's an equal split between Seahawks and 49er fans here.
Really? Just because it's the
yeah.
West Coast?
Well, so when I was growing up, the era of, West Coast football was Montana to Rice. The 49ers were it. I had like this like starter pullover jacket thing. It was 49ers on it. The Seahawks just weren't a good team. I mean, that
Right.
might have had something to do with it at the time. But no, I mean, Seahawks are definitely the team with the edge, and they did win. You did not watch the Super Bowl.
I
I called
didn't.
you out on it before we hit record.
Yeah. Never gonna I think I've watched 2 Super Bowls, maybe two and a
Was
half.
Was it like a mistake or something? Lose a bet?
Yeah. I think I remember way back in 2011 when I was here in Vancouver for the first time, I watched it with 2 Irish girls. None of us know what was going on. But I think it was Packers? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a
Oh.
green team because
Sure.
we were like, Ireland, green. We'll pick them. Go green. And then I definitely watched the one with the big comeback, like how many years ago? 5 years ago? I
I
want to
mean,
say.
the comebacks do happen in
Is there a
football.
purple team? No, it wasn't Minnesota. But I
Well,
don't know.
there is. I was going to say there is a purple team. But, there was
Yeah.
a comeback. I think it was when the Falcons came from
That
a
might
big
be it.
deficit.
Yeah.
Like they were against the
But,
Patriots.
like-
But anyhow,
All the actual NFL fans are screaming. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't understand it. It's like a even slower version of rugby, so I can't. I will say that it does look like BC Place is green, but maybe I can only see the corner, so.
okay. So again, off the rails and talking about the Super Bowl. One of the, there's a number of aspects to the Super Bowl that drive viewership. One of them is the game itself. Another component is the commercials. We in Canada, we don't get to see the U.S. commercials. We did for a short period of time when the CRTC overstepped its mandate and allowed for U.S. commercials to be shown in Canada. But then the Supreme Court of Canada said, no, get back into your lane. And then there's also the halftime show. And then for this version of the Super Bowl 60, they had a pre-game performance. So halftime was announced to be Bad Bunny. I actually really enjoyed the halftime performance. I don't speak Spanish. I did not understand the lyrics, but I didn't need to. Like I like the vibe. I mean, I do like Latin music, but like the performance was pretty cool. The vibe was pretty cool. I had a little butt groove going. You know, like when
Yeah.
music can
A
get you to
little
move in your
shoulder
seat like that.
dance.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. And then,
Nice.
but no, no disrespect meant to Bad Bunny, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, who all performed in the halftime show. But I am a Green Day stan. That's the
Mhm.
music I grew up with. We had a very short introductory performance from them. They played Holiday, which to Canucks fans has some special meaning. We got Boulevard of Broken Dreams and American Idiot. If you were curious as to the lyrics, because, I mean,
Yeah.
they went with the OG, and I presume it has to do more with the fact that there was probably some serious contract language that would have created lots of trouble had they gone with the alternative that really gets a certain demographic worked up.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I will try and catch. I do watch most of the musical performances, despite missing the Super Bowls. I usually catch up on them, so I will see the Bad
Yeah,
Bunny
I'm gonna spoil at
performance at
the
some
end.
point.
There's a message. It's what was it? Oh, now the only thing more powerful than hate is love, and I think it's actually that resonates with what he had said at in his Grammy, one
Yeah,
of his Grammy acceptance speeches.
one of his Grammy. Yeah, because he.
I mean,
Yeah,
one of you. And yet the number of people who, again, fit into a particular demographic who are losing their gourd over
yeah,
politics doesn't belong in sport.
yeah. Are they saying that at military appreciation nights? Do you think? Do you think they say that when the anthem is sung? Yeah.
I mean, Bad Bunny did give Canada a shout out.
Oh yeah.
Um, oh yeah, and there's a thing again. We're completely off the rails in this episode. As
Yeah. We don't care.
Canadians, it is a requirement of citizenship that anytime someone gives a shout out to Canada, we are like, yep, that's us, that's me.
Yeah.
Especially when
I
it's a non-Canadian.
I expect to see it in Daily Hive, front and center tomorrow.
Yeah. Anywho, we're not here to talk about the superb owl. We're here to talk about the Vancouver Canucks, the Vancouver Golden Knights, maybe a little Olympic hockey mixed in. So we're going to dive into Rewind in a quick moment to wrap up the Canucks road trip and how they did. Boy, do I enjoy the first sentence of the rundown, which I'm going to read word for word, just for your listening pleasure. And after we spend some time in Rewind talking about the Vancouver Canucks, we'll talk about Olympic hockey and half full, half empty. Now, for those of you who are Vancouver Golden Knights fans, who are like, well, why are you going to talk about the Golden Knights?
I mean, they did not play.
PWHL is, yeah, they're on like a 1 month hiatus. There isn't really any activity, which is, again, actually not a bad thing because the vast majority of the league is playing in the Olympics.
Yes.
Like, Team Canada is a roster of PWHL players. So,
Yes, entirely.
yeah. Anywho, let's dive into Rewind. As promised, I'm going to read you word for word what Anna wrote in the rundown. Canucks let out a giant fart of a performance versus the Fast and Furious Mammoth, and worse than that, they let their mums down.
Yeah. We said this at the end of last episode. Don't let your mums down.
Yeah.
And they did. No, I mean, like, you can't, as moms, go on that road trip expecting who is they're just happy to be there, I guess.
Oh, well, okay.
Happy to be going to Vegas. That's what they did seem to be happy with.
What, they weren't happy to go to Utah, is what you're saying?
Well, it's pretty.
Salt
It's
Lake.
scenic.
It's got a happening scene.
It's got a Salt Lake.
Maybe. So the Vancouver Canucks rolled into Utah, and the funny thing is Vancouver, from a statistical perspective, may on paper look like the better team. The problem is you'd have to ignore the score sheet. Liam Ogren got himself a goal. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy Bluger, he's probably one of the few Vancouver Canucks who's still got a ton of Fs to give, and his compete level is 100%. Granted, he's been away from the game for quite some time, so he's probably not beat down like some of the others on the roster are.
True.
But yeah, like when you describe it as a giant fart of a performance, that's not too far fetched because Utah didn't play a good hockey game and still won 6-2.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just, we've talked about this before, but it's so easy for Canucks to just like get their foot off the gas. And then it's like, oh, too bad you lost 3 goals. I mean, it was 8 minutes in the second period that, that 8 minutes, yeah, just under that, where they went down 3 goals in a row. So it was just like, we see it too many times.
And, all Utah did in the third period was just, make zero mistakes, really. And that was, game, set, match. Vancouver, and this is where we've talked about how in the past, when the moms, the dads, the siblings, they're out on these road trips, the team tends to sort of step up. They did not step up for the mamas. Like it was, short of the content that we got from some of the moms talking, saying that, they like how their boys are on their best behavior and holding up doors and being very respectful and dressing.
Yeah, I like Jade DeBrus's mom a lot because he's just like, I remember him saying, "Oh, you always seem to find a microphone on these trips." And I'm just like, "Yeah, you're fun." I remember like Ben Hutton's mom was also very adorable and sweet on these trips. But yeah, the European mom was like, we've kind of seen this with PD, but you know how Europeans are just less, they're just less bubbly in general. But like, there were some funny shots for sure of Teddy Bluger's mom who didn't even stand up when Teddy Bluger scored. She was just like, "Yeah, okay, keep going."
When you're down by was it 3 goals, 4 goals at the time? I think they were down by 4 when Teddy scored.
Yeah.
The writing's already there on the wall. The like what bright spot can we take out of that game against Utah?
Well, Teddy Bluger's trade value has increased. I mean, like you were saying, he gives an F. Like, he's on an expiring contract and hasn't played for half the year. Like, of course he gives an F. He's like, "Get me the F out of here," I'm sure. But yeah, I don't remember what Teddy Bluger's contract is. Does he have trade protection?
I haven't a clue. I mean, in the old front office,
Hold,
the
please.
answer would have been yes, but in the
Yeah.
current front office, they're a little less forthcoming.
Give NMCs out like candy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, like, I don't think he does. Oh yes, he has a modified no trade clause. So he has 12 teams that he won't go to. But it's just like, does someone want a lightly / heavily used aging center for the playoffs?
Hey, you can never have too many centers, is what I've been told.
Yeah. But like, if we're going to take any positives, and for the viewers at home, I used air quotes because this is kind of a positive. I thought that Liam Ogren looked good, and that line with Garland and Bluger, I would hesitate to call it a bright spot, but like, better than the other ones.
Liam Ogren looks good. I think we see what he's doing. We like it. You and I have been pretty big on Connor Garland, though he hasn't looked like the same Connor, in the past sort of few weeks or month. That might be that the spirit is starting to break based on how things are going. And then Teddy Bluger, who came off from the IR and has many Fs to give. I mean, I think that's sort of that combination is why that's the line that seems to be looking good. But regardless, the Vancouver Canucks lost, as you and I had expected, and that took them into Vegas. One last opportunity to do right by the Canucks mums, and they did wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, the mums got to go to Vegas, so I'm sure that was more fun.
Okay, you pointed it out in the rundown. So, P.O. Joseph's mom, real nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad that he was able to score a goal. In fact, he scored 2,
Yeah, only one of
but only
them
one of them
went down
counted.
on the score sheet, but
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, she was very pleased, and I'm pleased for her. And I'm pleased for Pierrot as well. He seems like a nice gentleman. So, yeah.
Yeah, got his first goal in a million games or whatever it was. First as a Canuck, but not the offensive dynamo that the Canucks didn't sign him to be. PD got a goal. Thing is, it wasn't the PD that people would probably expect to get a goal. It was DPD, but
You pity.
was this before or after he got absolutely destroyed by
I think
a
that was
Vegas
in. I
player
think it
leaving
was
his
after.
feet?
Yeah, that was wild. I mean, it's kind of almost we don't mention some of the insane penalties that Canucks haven't been given because it's so beside the point of why
Oh
they are
yeah.
losing games and anything like that. But there's been some insane calls, and that goes for the Canucks too. Like, in case you're
Well,
wondering, officiating is then still not good.
yeah. So during the broadcast, the hit occurred off camera, but it was described that DPD took a heavy hit, was taking time to get up off the ice, and then they showed the replay, and you're like, oh, it looks like he's being lined up to be hit. And then the Vegas player leaves the ice. They are airborne. They're fully on Supermaning
Yep.
DPD against not like the boards and glass, no, the bench. So not only is DPD getting essentially speared, he's getting speared where half of his body will stop on the boards and the other half will bend over into the bench. And like not even an inner like how that's not a penalty. Like there's no
Yeah.
hockey in that. Like
And
the cardinal sin is if you leave the ice, that's a penalty. It doesn't matter whether you intended to or not.
And for viewers of Heated Rivalry, we don't mean speared in a fun way. It is a
Mm.
decidedly unfun way.
Mm.
But yeah, he still had himself a game, and we have begged for these kind of young players to get opportunities to showcase themselves. Ogren seems to be taking that opportunity. Vilander seems to be taking that opportunity and speaking very well and very maturely about the team. So, yeah, long may that continue, but we'll see if they continue to get that opportunity from the coaches.
Vancouver Canucks lost 5-2 to Vegas. Goals from DPD and Joseph were not sufficient to even keep the team in the game. This was one that was clearly not Vancouver's game to win at any point in time. On paper, they looked like they got beat. On ice, they got beat.
Yeah,
There's
that's for
no way
sure.
to misread that. But the other sort of caveat to this is Philip Hedl out with migraines. And one has to think this is like
Yeah, like,
I
could it be unrelated? Yeah, but it's pretty unlikely. Just and of course he left the game on Monday.
yeah
Was it Monday? Anyway, yeah,
he didn't return
and
for the
with
third.
foot saying he tweaked something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you tweak your head injury. I mean, I don't hate that update. He doesn't want to speak out turn, but yeah, this is bleak, man.
Like so in one of the press conferences before his return, he had commented that he's like, people think it like I'm going to die if I take a hit. No, I'm not. I feel fine. They wouldn't, I wouldn't clear me if I wasn't ready. The doctors wouldn't clear me if I wasn't ready. This is the thing about head injuries is there's so much we don't know that can't be determined in real time. At what point do you have to either be told or you tell yourself that it is not worth it? I like,
mean,
who
you've
am
got
I
to
to
think.
tell him this?
Yeah,
But if you're getting migraines from simply skating,
yeah, and
that
you've got to.
is
Yeah.
not good.
So in his press conferences that you just mentioned, he did like talk about how his family speak about it, like this is considered, his return to play is considered, and all that. You've got to think that maybe that his family said, this is your last chance. Like, if something else happens, or you have any more symptoms, this has to be it. Like, you would think that his family have kind of put it in that kind of way.
It's just not you and I awfulizing. Like, we genuinely,
We're just concerned for his long-term well-being.
Yeah. And I think, we've made that very clear. At the end of the day, that's what is most important to the two of us. It's a league-wide thing, not just a Canucks thing. When we see players who, culturally within the context of the sport, put their body on the line and then beyond some, there are lines that you should not be crossing, and head trauma has to be one of them. And even if you were to say, well, player knows himself best, and Anna and Chris, you're not doctors, both of which are true. I think the NHL has proved itself as a league that doesn't really take head trauma all too serious.
Yeah.
So you're whether you and I are doctors or not matters little when you're going to actively commit yourself to playing in a league where the issue that you're dealing with is one that you're not getting afforded the protection you should be from the powers that be above. Anyway. So the Vancouver Canucks lost to, headed on the break. A bunch of players took off from Vegas to Italy. Others took off to wherever. I don't actually know how all the connections work. So it sounds like PD, he actually was in New York on his way to Italy. Maybe that's because Team Sweden was coordinating players from New York. I'm not entirely sure. And I only know this piece. Caitlin commented about how they were in New York. I haven't caught wind of where other players may have gone. Like it used to be in that 1 week break, or the All-Star break, players would head down to like sunny destinations and what have you.
Yes. I mean, we do know news broke today that Brock Besser got engaged.
Oh, congratulations, Brock.
Yeah, I'm obviously very happy for him, but it did look he was in sunny climes, so I hope that's a good break for him. But yeah.
And then the other sort of Canucks by extension news that has dropped since we last recorded is what happened down there in Penn State. So prospective first overall pick, Gavin McKenna, a Canadian kid from the Yukon territory, he got himself into some trouble. I think that's an understatement.
Yeah.
It is still not entirely clear as to everything that had transpired, but Gavin McKenna was arrested and charged for assaulting a young man, and allegedly to the point of breaking this kid's jaw, among other things. There were four charges, if memory serves me correct. The felony assault charge is the one that they have since dropped. That doesn't necessarily mean it's any better, and I use that loosely because again, there's so much we don't know. But the scuttlebutt that has been coming out of this, the fog, is that one, why is an underage kid in a bar? Two, was it related to allegedly a team event that was occurring where family was present? And three, did this person who Gavin allegedly assaulted chirp him, chirp his mom, or potentially lay hands on Gavin McKenna's mom, who was at this event that was in a bar where Gavin McKenna is underage? It's messy.
Yeah, let's say it's messy and we don't know the answers to a lot of these questions on what exactly happened just yet. I think we've talked about it a bunch in Discord, but whatever way you slice it, it is bad. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean it is the end of the world for him or end of the road even for him. But I think that needs to be acknowledged. And honestly, I think just because of everything we talk about every week with the NHL and violence and glorifying violence, I just really don't want to see people sweep this under the rug and say it's okay. And I'm not putting it in the box of he is evil or anything like that. But yeah, there's not really some way that justifies it to me to make it okay, even if it can be justified to a point of being understandable. It's still not good.
You know, I shared this in C4 Discord, how this sort of appears to me. If what occurred is true, Gavin McKenna crossed a line, a very clear line, and as a result, there are repercussions for crossing said line. Now, that said, I talked about me in a position where some of the scuttlebutt is actually true. I'm a pretty passive person, but if someone were to have laid hands on my mother in my presence, there is a chance that I crossed the line.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't make it okay. It's simply explaining why I chose to cross the line. And that's the thing that I think people need to understand is that when you make those choices, why you made those choices doesn't negate the repercussions of the choices you've made. It's just explain, like, I get the human component of it. Like, I mean,
yes,
a little off the rails and a little story here. My nephew's first birthday, my sister has essentially raised my nephew alone, but my nephew's father was there. And my family was very concerned that I might do something I regret. Now, I don't recall being any different. I thought I was doing a really good job at being pleasant around this person. It never occurred to me that I was putting off the bust someone up vibes.
Right.
But like my family it would shock them because that's not me. Like my personality was never that way. But again, I think that ties in. Like I'm very much a pushover. Yeah, until my family is threatened. And then apparently I go honey badger. So
yeah. And I won't spend too long on this, but I think that if you are a hockey player of note, especially one that's a projected top 2 pick, you are held to a higher moral standard. So any guy being an idiot to you, and I'm not trying to play that down in any way, but you cannot be respond as the lowest common denominator. You need to be the bigger person in every single situation you go into. And that's kind of part of the responsibility of, being a hockey player. I think that would go for someone who is just a star hockey player on their team that's not necessarily making it to the NHL as well. So yeah, I do think that needs to be a lesson learned quickly. Let's put it that way.
Agreed. You and I are going to take a break. You're listening to the C4 Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Anna, Chris, and Craig.
Take hitting out of the game. You can't hit anymore, so don't do it.
The unsportsmanlike conduct, I want to get an explanation on it.
No kidding.
Because how do you get suspended for unsportsmanlike conduct?
Plus interference. There's no interference there. He had the puck.
Now, Madison never ever did that before. Now, why did he do it? And that because he was mad.
Well, your early favorite for the Calder Trophy, that's for sure. Elias Pettersson, you might even say your early favorite for the Hart Trophy.
Just to get back to your question, Elias is going to play plenty. He didn't play. He's going to get a lot of power play time. And yeah, I'm concerned about our offense. We lost 200-point players, and we've got to find a way to score.
As we talked about off the top of the show-ish, because I guess we talked Super Bowl for quite a bit, the Olympics are underway in Italy. The Canadian men's hockey team has yet to get into any action. The Canadian women's hockey team has, albeit only once, as their first game against Finland has been postponed. I don't even actually know if it's been rescheduled officially yet. I haven't heard. But
I haven't heard, but yeah. I mean, I didn't know that Canada actually had the opportunity to make the Finns forfeit their game, and they said, "Well, no, if we can reschedule, let's do it." So, generous.
Canadians are nice people, but apparently, if you were to be following what happened in, what was it, like bobsleigh or luge or something, it was dark arts. I don't know. Some U.S.
The
Olympian
ski
didn't qualify.
jumping.
Yeah, maybe it was ski jumping. It was like because Canada decided not to because we didn't need to. The U.S. Potential Olympian didn't qualify because there weren't enough points or something. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. No, I was
something.
thinking of the other thing.
Okay, I can't remember what it was.
I
But yeah,
can't
dark arts.
speak any more on this, but if you don't know what's happening in ski jumping, in men's ski jumping, look it up.
No, you totally do. It's something that when I read about it, I'm like, 1, why? 2, ow. 3, oh my goodness, ow.
My first thought was, why is this any of our business? Before realizing what it actually meant.
Yeah, no. So
I thought it was on their private time.
Yeah, well, it is, except for the fact that I am now learning more about. So, okay, in swimming, they wear these suits that like shape them into like torpedoes or whatever, and then those suits got banned. Like the idea was like you had to like streamline the surface area, but apparently in ski jumping, if you are able to expand the surface area, you go further.
And they're coming up with innovative ways to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it blew my mind. So I don't know physics. So maybe there's a physicist out there that listens to our show.
I was expecting, it was more alongside the swimming thing. It's true. I would have thought more streamlined would be.
But this is the thing is now that they're talking about the use of this injectable substance in a particular area, it has me wondering, like, okay, are there like, can you grow other things? And if so, how does like?
But I guess it's like maybe they're very much looking for. You'd be looking for steroids, right? Like and all that kind of stuff.
No, but I'm not saying steroids. Like
okay.
I am. If you what you choose to do to change your appearance is your choice. That's what I'm getting at. And there are other things that one can do.
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
Anyhow,
anyway,
the point is weird. So Canada did not get underway against Finland in women's hockey because the Finns are dealing with norovirus, which is a nasty little bug to have to deal with. Then word came out that the Swiss were also having to deal with norovirus, not to the extent that the Finns did.
Yeah.
Switzerland did play Canada. Switzerland, for a 4-0 loss, didn't do too badly, all things considered. Or maybe their goaltender was like top tier stellar. Because what was it? Was it 50 to 6?
Something like 54 shots. Yeah, I got a message from my non-hockey but sort of hockey-interested friend who is a football goalie, and he was just like, that looks like a rough game. Cool. But also a tricky game for Emirates Mashmeyer, Vancouver Golden Knights, because 6 shots is hard.
And of which, like, 2 of those 6, one was a breakaway and another one was like a 2-on-1. In having not seen the puck for an extended period of time in a game where Canada hadn't gone and raced out to a crazy lead. Like it was 0-0 after 1. Even when it was 1-0, Switzerland got a top tier opportunity and Mash had to be on point. The thing is though, I think we expect the Canadian women's team to go out and smack their opponents around, Switzerland being one of them. And when a score line is 4-0 in a game where you're like, it clearly should have been more, that doesn't worry me so much because of what I saw from the team. Like there was effort. Yeah. They were just up against a hot goaltender. Like opportunities galore. They didn't capitalize on all of them, but it wasn't like for a lack of trying. Hot goaltender can go far.
Do you think we see Mashmeyer play more games? At least one more against, some similarly.
I mean-
But yeah, obviously she is the second choice. Like, that's undeniable. And Renee Debiat is the goods, as it were.
Yeah, like they've not made a decision having played just the one game, and obviously it sounds like and Debian would have been going against the Finns, but you know what? I'm thinking this through. I think she's not done anything to not deserve another start.
Yes,
but
I just think if it's
more
like
could
if
happen.
tomorrow's the gold medal game, you put Anne Renee Debiat in.
Well, no, because if tomorrow was the gold medal game, the only goaltender that I know is Mashma. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough that the U.S. is in the same division. It would have been nice. I mean, to be the best, you got to beat the best. I'd rather beat the best.
Yeah, in the final.
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
Because like as it stands right now, for Canada to win gold, there is a good chance they'll have to face the United States twice.
Yeah.
One of which is guaranteed.
It is interesting, like, you're coming at it from that perspective. I'm coming, like, people have asked, oh, are you excited for the Olympics? All these Golden Knights are playing. Isn't that cool? I'm like, yeah. But if I could get Sarah Nurse to not play in the Olympics, I'd like that even better. And that's purely selfish, and I know that all the Canadians are screaming at me right now, but
they are.
She's been gone for most of the season. Please do not get injured, Sarah Nurse. That's my big hope. More than a gold medal. Please don't get injured.
Sarah Nurse, though, is a stud.
Completely.
The more I watch her play, and I passively watched her in Women's World Cup and in Olympic play. Knew she was a good player, but now having the opportunity to see her in the few instances I have with the Golden Eyes, and then just in the game against the Swiss, she is a power forward. I would love to have what she does on the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah,
like that she is like, I don't know how to describe her any other way. She is a stud. She is that good of a hockey player.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
mean,
don't get hurt, please.
Don't get hurt, please. Yeah.
Canadian men, as mentioned, haven't got underway, though. They had their first practice. Sidney Crosby's not that good. He's the third line center, based on the preliminary lines we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, we jest. Canada
Batch would say, "Don't make me tap the sign."
Yeah.
I tweet the lines in the order they skate them.
Yeah, well, I mean, fairness. Even if Batch was putting the lines in the order that they skate them, that top line of, was it McDavid, Celebrini, Wilson, which, okay.
Because they need protection.
Sure.
In an Olympic, like, can we just quickly go off the well, not off the rails, but talk about how, like, Hockey Canada has filled out its injury replacements, of which there's been a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really over the moon for Seth Jarvis. He seems like a really nice guy, but he was the last guy added, right? He was the last minute of the last minute. I just don't see what Tom Wilson gives you in an Olympic team in a completely, because he's such good value on a roster, especially a playoff roster, but an Olympic team? Do you need to bring Sam Bennett and Tom Wilson, both of them?
Okay. Tom Wilson is on the, I mean, he was going to be on the team regardless of what they sort of are, what type of style of hockey they're looking for. I mean, Tom Wilson is a decent enough player to be on the Olympic team. You're right. Tom Wilson, Sam Bennett, interesting that you need both. But I feel that Tom Wilson is on there as the player you need to irritate the United States. Like, they've built a Four Nations roster with the expectation that the United States is who they have to deal with. But that's not the team that actually worries me the most.
Four Nations was NHL rules and officiating.
Mm-hmm. No, but
Olympics is just a different kettle of fish. Oh yeah, sure, but yeah, the way that Tom Wilson and Sam Bennett tread the line, and probably from our perspective go over the line far more times than they're actually called out for. I just don't think that's going to happen in the Olympics. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, second line, we've got Nathan McKinnon centering Suzuki and Marchand. As I mentioned earlier, Crosby, he's the third line center with Marner on one side, Stone on the other. Horvat, he's the fourth line center with Reinhart and Hagel. Jarvis and Bennett seem to be the odd two out, though there was sort of some interchange taking place on that fourth line. I do, again, I going back to the concern you raise, I do concede it is a concern of mine too. But my hope is that, Celebrini and McDavid are skating so fast that all Tom Wilson needs to do is ensure when the puck's in the offensive zone is to park his butt in front of the net.
Sure.
And that's his role is big bottom in front of net.
And it's quite a bottom. Yeah. And maybe that's enough. I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm very, very, very pleased for Bo Horvat that he managed to recover from his injury in time.
Yeah. Horvat, I miss him.
We do. We miss Bo. We miss his dog.
Well, I wasn't thinking the dog angle. I just, missed his presence in Vancouver, but he's the type of guy that is going to wear that jersey. I mean, Canadian Olympians, they wear that maple leaf with a level of pride that Canadians aren't really known for doing.
For outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, and Horvat, one of the things that, for longtime listeners of the show know, anytime the Canucks made the playoffs in Horvat's career, which weren't that many, Horvat had another gear, and playoff Horvat was just a guy that every team wanted on their roster. And I feel what we're going to get in the Olympics with Olympics Horvat will be very much what we see with playoff Horvat. He's just
I like that
level of maturity.
Yeah. Yeah, he's unfazed, I would say, by big occasions.
Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah. Any other thoughts about the Olympics?
No, I haven't watched anything besides some of the women's game against Switzerland. I haven't seen any other sports. So maybe I'll try and check out some of that.
Yeah, I've watched a little mixed curling.
Team GB tend not to be great in Winter Olympics, so historically not seen much.
Well, I mean, the mixed curling team, I think they went undefeated. Team GB. But the Canadian pair, they didn't do so good in mixed doubles. I've watched some downhill. It's just more so I turn it on when I get up in the morning, and it's whatever happens to be on at the time is what I'm sort of consuming. I did make sure to watch the Canadian women's game against Switzerland. The challenge is obviously with the schedule in the 9-hour time difference for us on the West Coast. Much of what will happen while I'm still asleep. And then during the week, obviously working during the hours in the morning.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But I am not the one who would go and get upset at the fact that time zones exist, as a certain, again, select group of people are.
Yeah, that's insane. I will say, I will be cheering on Team Ireland. It's just there are 4 of them. So
okay. So I'm watching the opening ceremony roughly, and I mean, I'm sure I've seen this before. In the Olympics, you've got Team Puerto Rico, which, Puerto Rico deserves to be either a country or, at minimum, a state in the United States of America. How is it that Team Puerto Rico is not part of the U.S. in the sense of the Olympics?
Do you want it to make sense? There's like,
No,
what's
I
Team
don't. I know it's not
Team
going to.
GB about? Like, it doesn't really
I
make
get
sense.
it. I mean, and then we could then, switch gears and start talking about how FIFA looks at a map and just like,
Yeah. There's lots
you
about.
can't, but you don't.
Yeah, totally. There's lots that doesn't make sense. I mean, don't even get me started on cricket. There's a Cricket World Cup going on right now, and one team was like withdrew participation less than a week before. So it was like, Scotland, you're up. It doesn't matter that you don't have kits or visas. Get here.
Yeah. Visas not all that important. Oh, anyhow, if you've made it to this point of the show, we had talked about it last week, but I'm going to talk about it again this week. We're not recording an episode next weekend. It is here in the province of BC, Family Day, long weekend. It is also sort of in the cavern that is Vancouver Canucks and Vancouver Golden Knights action, because there is neither opportunity for either team to play or even for us to set up the week that will be due to the Olympic break. So you and I are going to take a break. That means you're going to go 2 weeks without C4 in your life.
Yes. And I don't know how you'll cope, but you can just listen to some old episodes, I guess.
Yeah. Or maybe, you know what, I could just drop that, Anna Manscaped ad
read. What a threat.
Just throw it out there as like a bonus episode. It's only what 60 seconds long or 45 seconds long or whatever it is, but it's if you think the Super Bowl commercials in the United States are all that in a bag of chips, well, let me tell you, Anna's ad read is like the family size bag of chips.
Yeah.
It is that good. I'm still upset that never actually made it into an episode.
Yeah, truly.
Anyhow, any final words of wisdom for our listeners this week, Anna?
Yeah, I think it's just enjoy this break in time when we don't have to track the news to see who's getting traded or who isn't getting traded. And we don't have to see which Canuck is injured or not injured, or just terrible results that Canucks find new ways to disappoint us. And we don't have to worry about the Golden Knights, playoff chances or whatever, Just, I know Canadians maybe are quite worried about the whole Olympic thing, but I would say it's a different kind of experience. So enjoy that different kind of experience for the next couple of weeks.
Well said. The words of wisdom that I have is in the state of the world as it is today. Follow the advice of my daughter's soccer team with the big question: who brought the post-match snacks today? I mean,
that's how I live my life. Like every single week, I'm waiting for the new pearl of wisdom because that's how I live my life.
Post-match snacks. It's the biggest question. I mean, in fact, they ask it before kickoff. They ask it, a couple times before halftime. It's like, who brought the post-match snacks? The other ones, it's what's the score, Coach Chris? And I always explain to them, I don't keep track. But I do know who brings post-match snacks, as I'm the one who sends out the email to say, hey, so-and-so's family is up this week.
Well, I ask that every week in netball, and it turns out they say, Anna, you have to buy your own snacks. You're an adult.
Oh,
it's so sad. Yeah.
If you want to buy Anna some post-match snacks, you can do so by supporting us at buymeacoffee.com/C4podcast. Buy Me a Coffee, otherwise known as
Buy Me a Pint.
Or buy Anna post-match snacks. You can contribute a one-off contribution that's going to go directly to pints or snacks. And if and when Anna and I get together to enjoy the snacks or pints you buy, we will take pictures and share the experience with all of you who do. And if you want to contribute on a more regular basis, you can do so either monthly or annually. And in doing so, that helps us pay the bills to keep the podcast on the air. All those funds go directly into those annual costs. If you want to get to our back catalog of all of our episodes, c4podcast.com is where you can go. It also has a spot where you can check out all the guests who've joined us, all the links to get in touch with them. And if you haven't done so already, join C4 Discord, discord.io/C4podcast. As far as where you can find us on all the social medias, the C4 Podcast is found on X at the C4 Podcast, on Blue Sky, c4podcast.com, and on Threads, the real C4 Podcast. Anna and I were equivalent. She's A463 everywhere. I'm Light Force everywhere, including Gander. I got invited to a closed beta of the new Canadian social media app, Gander. Gander.
As in the town in Newfoundland?
Well,
made famous by the musical Come From Away? I'm guessing it's more the goose thing, but...
Yeah, it's more the goose thing, but it could be Gander, Newfoundland. It's interesting. It's a so far I've had to block one account, only one hoser so far. But for the vast majority of folks that I've seen who have been talking on the platform, a bunch of good Canucks. I mean, it's a lot of good people. Just one hoser so far. And it's a shame that this particular hoser got invited to a Canadian social media platform, considering this hoser doesn't seem to be down with Canada.
I see.
Anyhow, read between the lines as you may. So on behalf of Anna, A403, myself, Chris at Lightforce, and our trusty sidekick, Craig, we out.